Welcome back to our community. Susie Thomas visiting with the most recently crowned Woman of the Year, Marilyn Thomas Jones, and Elizabeth Burton Jones, daughter, and most recently crowned Outstanding New Junior Leaguer of Washington, D.C., originally from this area. How proud we are of both of you. You bring out the best in all of us.
Thank you.
Marilyn, there's just got to be something about volunteerism itself.
In me, it's a spirit of volunteerism because I believe you have to give back to your community.
Well, you are such a great example of it, just a great example for all of us. We do want to say that you were the recipient of the Community Award. There is a President's Award that is also given to a Woman of the Year for volunteering in one particular area. And this particular gal is really big in Boy Scouts, the Lake Cable Troop of Boy Scouts. She's done so much. You want to say a few words about Judy Crew?
Oh, Judy Crew is absolutely amazing. She is extremely creative, and she has a talent where she can meet people and just interact with them with ease. So I don't have any hesitation when I think about how great she has been and is with the members of the Boy Scouts. Mm-hmm. And she has an adventurous side to her. So going out for the campground and, all of the things that Boy Scouts do, I can see her just handling that with ease. Nothing seems to faze her.
Yeah.
And I've always admired that in her. She also is a part of the process in the Boy Scouts where they get their Eagle Scout Award.
Yes.
And that's an involved process. And I have served on the Eagle Scout review committee. But the Boy Scouts, they do an intense project, and they start from a blank sheet of paper and design it and raise the money for it and do it all. And I can see Judy with what I know of her and her, energy and positivity, just being very helpful to anyone who would ever have a question. If any of her scouts were going for the Eagle Scout, I'm sure she'd be right there to, cheer them on. Mm-hmm. And the other thing about Judy that I think maybe plays a role in her Boy Scouts is she is an artist. Mm-hmm. And we just had the angel auction a few days ago, and I worked just to a small degree, nothing to Judy Crew's degree. Yeah. I think I glued some fabric on cardboard so we could wrap trees and they would look beautiful. But her creativity is just amazing. So imagine that you're out in the middle of the woods and something's not going exactly right. I'm sure she has always been creative enough to fix that. So she's an absolutely amazing woman.
Well, yes, and I'm sure the guys appreciate all of that.
Exactly.
And hats off to her, and we salute her as well.
Absolutely.
I've got to ask, what was your reaction? Did someone show up at your door with flowers or something? And tell me about that day. How did they announce this to you?
Well, I was sitting in my office at work. I'm with the Start Community Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I serve as the Director of Community Engagement there. So I'm in my office working, and one of my coworkers knocks on my door and says, Mark needs to see you in the conference room. Now, Mark Samolzik is our president and chief executive officer.
And you're thinking, what did I do?
And I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, I'm in trouble now. So, I get up and I walk up to our conference room, and the staff is there. And they're all standing around the walls of the, and then I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, this is serious.
Yeah.
Well, just as I get through the door, the representatives from Junior League came in behind me and said, Marilyn, we're here to congratulate you. And I'm like, so they gave me flowers, and they told me about the Community Award and who had nominated me and all of that. And I do have to say to Candy Wallace, she worked really hard on gathering information. She even contacted Elizabeth in D.C.
Yes, it was top secret information. and I tried to surprise you, but then I couldn't. I can't get anything by my
Well, she did surprise me with that. It was just the coming home to be at the event, what day she was coming, and she wasn't going to be able to come to see me receive the award. She was trying to surprise me with that, but she didn't say a peep about, the part that she was working with the gathering of information.
To make it happen in the first place. Yeah. And then, but the cat got out of the bag, right?
Yes.
She knew you were coming home for it once you had been announced.
Yes.
So fun. Well, let's give a little shout out to the Stark Community Foundation and what you do now. Talk about that awesome organization.
Okay. Well, I started with Stark Community Foundation. You might find this interesting based on why I'm here. As a volunteer.
Yeah.
I volunteered for a program called Summertime Kids. And once I had done that, the Stark Community Foundation wanted to do a project that had to do with neighborhoods. So I worked on that project as a volunteer. And then they wanted to take the work that was done and the planning and really move it forward as a project. So I was asked if I would like to work for the foundation. At that time, I did not, because I was a stay-at-home mom, determined to be there when my daughter got on the bus and when she got off the bus. So, I said, well, no. And then they said, well, how about if it's just 12 hours a week? Well, when you do the math, I could work that out.
Yeah.
So I took that starting in 1997. And that contract would expire, and then eventually they'd offer me another one. And we did that for a few years. And then finally by 2002, Elizabeth was old enough. Yep. She was going to high school. She was involved in speech and debate. And that meant that even when school was over, she still stayed.
Involved in a ton.
In 2002, I started as 25 hours a week. But the Stark Community Foundation is absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. I don't think people realize all of the nonprofits that we are involved with and how many wonderful donors that we have in this area that support nonprofits. We are engaged in a project now that is called Strengthening Stark. And Mark Samolzik worked to get a white paper created to really take a look at Stark County and which direction we're going as a county. Mm-hmm. And the paper does put in black and white that we're getting older and poorer, and we have other challenges that if we don't start to address them soon, there will be some serious concerns. Mm-hmm. And so I'm proud of the fact that Mark Samolzik, through his work, is actually looking into what we need to do to change the direction that we're going in.
Our time's up, but for more information about that, where can people go? Is there a website? Let's give the Stark Community Foundation website for people to look.
Okay, we're at www.starkcf.org.
Great.
And that's STARK, C as in Community, F as in Foundation.org.
Awesome. Well, Marilyn Thomas Jones and Elizabeth Burton Jones, thank you so much for what you do in our community.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.